That was absolutely beautiful, Sandy. Thank you so much. So I'd like to extend a welcome right here, right now, to everybody, just personally, who's found themselves for the first time in our sanctuary. And if you're online out there for the first time, you're in, all the way, just as if you're sitting right up here up front with Jen Zen and everybody else. So you're good to go. Yes, my darling. Congratulations. So before we move forward, last week I did speak to our beloved Miley, who transitioned. And as a community, I know there are a lot of questions around memorial service and everything like that. I just wanted to update you and let you know that I am in contact with the family. Most of them that are organizing it are on the mainland, so it's going to take a little extra time for them to get everybody together to come over here at a timely. So we don't know exactly when the memorial service will happen. I don't think it will happen until probably late into September. So as that comes forward and more information is about, I promise I'll share it all with you so that we can honor her. I did put her photo and the wreaths that we had up last, the leis, right up over there, so we can honor her as we go. Thank you. All right, so what have we spoken about this month? It's been a month speaking about relationships. Woohoo! I can see how excited we all are, because ultimately, relationships are the thing that really, really work us over. This work would be so easy if we were sitting alone in a cave or on the top of a mountain, wouldn't it be? It'd be a breeze. It wouldn't be a problem. But that's not the way it works. And Dr. Holmes was very adamant about that. He was like, nope, you want to do this with people. It's easy when you're not. It's the rubbing up against each other, the way we polish each other up like stones in a kiln, you know. It's that way. So relationships are what we're speaking about. So we started the month off with me, myself, and I. Our beloved Dennis Alstrand spoke to us about me, myself, and I. The relationship you have with yourself, the importance of that relationship you have with yourself. How he went about it. I mean, he took a dive. Let me tell you something. I watched him. He took a dive into this to actually look at himself and to see his perception behind it. In fact, there was an image from his talk that remained in my mind. Whether or not he said this or not, I don't know. You got to remember, I was in bed with COVID. So this hallucination could be anything that I saw. We know this, right? But what I remember thinking as he was speaking, I could see him standing in front of a mirror, looking at himself, really looking at himself. Did you say anything about a mirror? I don't think you did. There you go. I love it when I get back up. And so I could see this picture of Dennis standing there, just looking deep into himself, asking the questions, inviting all of us in to do the same, to truly go in and get that relationship, the me, myself, the I. What is it that lights us up? What it is that we want to do? And what is it that's holding us back? You know, they say that ultimately every relationship is with yourself. And then we get other people involved. So we need to do that. It's not always the funnest thing to do. And then the second week, we had lovely Dennis Soros was up here, and he spoke about you and I are we. You and I are we. And in his talk, he spoke about the interconnectedness of all life, the interconnectedness of each other, something that is we can't get away from, but when we bring our awareness and our consciousness together, it becomes more of a celebration than you know, really? I'm really connected with that person. But he brought that in, he shared that with us, and how we can see ourselves in everybody around us. How somebody who's standing in front of us, you know, one more time, there's this mirror, standing in front of us is mirroring back to us both the good and maybe the those things that are still working us. How often is it somebody's come into your life and you realize that always they're here to teach you a lesson, but it's the thing you least want to know. You do not want to go there. You're not interested. And eventually, you get them out of your life by moving to a different city. And then they show up again in a different person. Telling you. You can run all you want, but if there's something that you should know, there is somebody that is going to, and it's the same thing over and over again. And it's like, come on, and then you do your forgiveness work. Ah, brilliant. You do your forgiveness work, you release them, they're gone. And then somebody else shows up. Of course they will. They're going to do this until that last little piece is pulled up, we've been able to forgive it, and move on. And then you'll see it again because it's deep and we hold on to our stories so greatly. And they do say that forgiveness is the oil of relationships. So in forgiveness, not only do we have to be very aware of the people around us, we also have to forgive ourselves so that we can have relationships. Because if you don't forgive yourself on your stuff, you're never going to be able to have a clean relationship because that person, that thing, is going to be constantly in front of you. It's going to show up all the time. Third week, I came in with you and me create society. And one of the things that I expressed in that talk was that everything we do matters. Everything, every little thing. It doesn't have to be big, huge. You do not have to, if you can, please do this, but you do not have to create a brand new water system so that everybody in the world has clean water. If you can, you do. But you can also do something really small like picking up some trash on the side of the road. Every little thing matters because as a society, not only do we come together to create this environment that we live in, but we get to grow. We get to grow, we get to expand, and we do that by doing the little things that we can. Start where you are, start with what you have, and move forward from there. Aldous Huxley said this, "Never give children a chance of imagining that anything exists in isolation. Make it plain from the very beginning that all living is relationships. Show them relationships in the woods, in the fields, in the ponds and streams, in the village, and in the country around it." He goes, rub it in. Because it's in here, it's in society that we create together, that we grow and expand and create even more. In our global theme, in our global vision statement for Census for Spiritual Living, we say we envision all people, all beings, and all life as expressions of God. We see a world in which persons live in alignment with their highest spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with God and connection with others. We envision a world in which we live and grow as one global family that respects and honors the interconnectedness of all life. We envision a world that works for everyone. That is the society that you and I come together to create. Those words in our global vision statement are lofty. But if you do not have an idea or a goal that challenges you beyond anything that you can imagine, you're thinking too small. So we do that. It pulls us, it pushes us to get us into that place of expansion and growth. Last week we had our beloved Rabbi Rachel, our magnificent comet, who came through and expressed to us how we are all star stuff. Our magnificence. And most importantly, when we think of star stuff, we realize we're all made of the same shit. We are. We've got the same atoms in us. We've got the same molecules, not only of the people around us, but of everything. Everything. The star dust has sprinkled down. It's in us. The very breath we breathe has moved around the globe thousands and thousands and thousands of times. It is in us. It is through us. It is who we are. And that brilliance of knowing that we are magical. Yeah, I know we don't use the word magical in Science of Mind, but I do it anyway because that's the feeling about it. We're magical. Look at the way our bodies work. There's this just thing that just happened, and woo, here we are. And everything is perfect. Everything is in divine design because it's of the same stuff of the stardust. That same impetus that put galaxies into a spin is putting the life force into us. We are the same. And so when we look around at people, we can see that we are the same in every way. Every way, if we look deep in. And Eckhart Tolle says, you are not separate from the whole. You are one with the sun, the earth, the air. You don't have a life. You are a life. That just like really just goes in there. You don't have a life, but you are a life. You are stardust. I get so excited when I do this stuff. Can you tell? It just bubbles up from inside of me because that idea of that expansion and the wholeness and the unity and the wonderment of just understanding how connected we are to everything in every way that we look at life, in all that we do. So we can see that as we've moved through the relationship with ourselves, to the we, to society, to the knowingness that we're all interconnected, the very-ness that we are, we can see the relationship grow. It begins initially with us. We grow the relationship in us. So we can actually have relationships in the world. We extend that out. We can have it in society. And we can have it cosmically, that relationship. And what is that cosmic relationship with? What is going on out there? Well, I'll tell you. Today, we're speaking about the one and the only. Just pretty much like the song. But it's not just the one and the only. It is the one and the only. That thing, that, whatever you want to call it, and you can call it many things. So let's just talk about that. You can call it many things. I call it God. Anybody got an issue? And please, it's okay. But does anybody still have residual attachment or negative feelings to the word God? Anybody? Yes? Yes? Anybody else? I think that yeah, okay, you see? This is not a problem. This is not a problem because it's just a name, right? It's just a name. For some people like me, it's short, it's dog in reverse, it makes me feel very happy. And it's very easy, right? It's God. Do you want to say spirit? Of course. Do you want to say grateful? Of course. Do you want to say universal? Universe? Do you want to say creative intelligence? It makes no difference. You pick a name that works for you. Now, I will say, if we're still hooked with the name God, come and see me and let's talk about it. Because there shouldn't be a word anywhere in the language that hooks you enough to take you out of your center. You know, we don't need that. It's just a word. You can change it. And so what I invite you to do as we work through this process is with anything that I do, be it in class, be it up here speaking, I invite you to have a little filter at your ear, right over here. So as the word God comes in, it hits the filter and just changes into whatever you want to hear. So it doesn't affect your psyche. It doesn't affect your spirit inside. It doesn't affect you. Just let it have, you know how they do it in sound machines where they just change it and it becomes something different? Just do that. That's my invitation to you, is to don't allow your whole person to shut down when you hear the word God. Just transform it into whatever it is that you call this absolute magnificent intelligence that is this energy, this life force that is in, through, and as every single expression. this planet and way beyond. And I'm going to read you a little piece from Dr. Ernest Holmes because he says it way better than I could possibly. Now, if you don't know, Dr. Ernest Holmes is the founder of our teaching. He founded it, Science of Mind is the textbook that we all lug around, praying we never really have to read it, but we eventually make our way through it, and it gets a little easier as we go along, and you start that the first time you open that book and you read the first thing. The thing itself, it's like, what the heck are you saying? But as time goes on, it unfolds and it really becomes palatable. And then you get Thomas Troward, which just takes it way over the top. I'll get back to him later. So Dr. Ernest Holmes, he says this: God is all there is. There is nothing else. Whether it be a bird, a beast, a fish, a tree, a man, or an archangel, God is still all there is. All things are manifestations of the one presence, the one power, and the one life. This is the secrets of secrets. So he's letting us in now. The thought and the idea of God must become warm and intimate and colorful in your consciousness. A sense of the indwelling presence must be real and immediate, for there is no there, only here. There is no then, only now. No tomorrow, only today. There is no place where you, the individual, leaves off, and God, the universal I am. To you, there is only God and God in you, and the two are one. No separation, all just one. Seek then to cultivate this divine indwelling presence, for it will respond to you and you will know that you are not alone. May all the power in the universe be with you, even as the divine light casts its radiance before you and the infinite love guides you on your way. Wow. There's a lot of good stuff in there. A lot of good stuff. But the most important thing that we get from this piece from Dr. Ernest Holmes is that there is only one and there is only now. So we're present in this. We steep ourselves in this magnificence that we call the one and only God. Ralph Waldo Emerson says, I behold with awe and delight many illustrations of the one universal mind. I see myself embedded in it. As a plant in the earth, so I grow in God, for I am a form of it. It is the soul of me. I am a form of it, and it is the soul of me. So here's the very wonderful thing about it is that each and every one of us is a form of God. We are an expression of the divine. Do you know that when you're looking at somebody? Can you look at them and go, oh, you're God. You're God. You're speaking to me. That's the voice of God. That's how God doesn't have a mouth, guys. I mean, I hate to tell you. No hat, no hands, no ears. God is an impersonal principle. It is a responsive principle. It responds to what we believe. It has no agenda, no bias. It's not saying, oh, God has this plan for me. Sorry, I'm not going to say that's the truth because it ain't. It is this magnificent, yes, it is creative. Look at all of this stuff. It's created everything. We call it loving. Well, of course, it has to be loving. Otherwise, it wouldn't have nurtured all this magnificence into the world. But does it have an opinion? Absolutely not. Does it have a bias? Absolutely not. Does it want for you what you don't want for yourself? Absolutely not. The only thing that they might call an agenda of God is based on your intentions and your desires. That's pretty freaking scary, isn't it? It is scary to know that the responsibility can't be passed off onto that guy over there in the sky. It's his desire for you that this doesn't happen or that doesn't happen or this does happen. Nope. Sorry. It's a principle that is responsive, like electricity, like gravity. It works without a bias. And it works equally no matter whether you're a phenomenal person that does everything right every single day, or somebody that we may judge as being, those decisions were kind of weird. It works the same on everybody. It is a responsive energy that responds to you. Now, if this is news to you, I know that it's not. If it's a little aggressive, if you feel, oh my goodness, you just took the love of God out of me, not at all. In fact, the energy and the emotion behind all of creation is love. And love is always the answer, because we come from that place. I mean, really, who wants to come from hate? Anybody? I don't think so. Nobody wants to come from hate, because it doesn't serve. It's not positive. We're raised in this positive atmosphere. This is our desire. We are desire to have the best life possible. And if I want to tell you that God has a desire for you, that is the only one that I would say. What is our purpose here on earth? To live the best life possible. We are created in the image of the divine to shine and to thrive. And all that you need to do so is already present in you. All of it is. Absolutely every last drop, be it money, be it talent, be it whatever it is, it's already present in you. You're the one that has to reveal it. You're the one that has to open up and go, And we've seen it around. We've seen prosperity coming out from Joachim. We've seen a voice of an angel coming forward from our beloved Lissa. You know, these are the things that happen. They're all in us. We've been keeping them at bay. Why are we keeping this stuff at bay? How much goodness are we entitled to? How much goodness of the divine are we entitled to? All of it. So what does all of it mean? Why don't we all have it? We all have it, but why aren't we all expressing it? We don't express it because we don't believe we deserve it. I am not good enough for God's goodness. I made a mistake back when I was 6 years old. I am not good enough. I don't deserve that. This trials and tribulation is my work to do. I'm going to carry it on my shoulder till the day I die, and maybe the next life I'll be better. No, 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 no. Open your heart, open your minds, open your arms out wide and just go, all right, I'm ready to receive all of the goodness that God is pouring down on me. Anybody with me? Anybody? Open your arms and say, I am ready to receive. One more time, I am ready to receive. One more time, I am ready to receive. Yes, that's what I want to hear in here. And how do we do this? We do this by becoming aware of God as us. In our statement of what we believe, we say that heaven is within us and that we experience it to the degree we become conscious of it. Heaven, our good, right? Same thing. Heaven is within, and we can experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. How do we do that? There's the trick. Now we get into that place of laying aside and laying down all those blocks to our love. Kick that sucker out of the way, man. Move past it. You know that you deserve it. We know this. So what we do is we go through different processes. We come through class. We work on forgiveness. We work on these things. These are active tools that we get to use so that we can expand and enjoy more goodness from the divine. So ultimately, as we're doing this, we're building our relationship with the divine. And you know that how you do one thing is how you do everything. So when you are having this magnificent relationship with the divine, how do you think the relationship is going to be with the people around you? Yeah, life's going to be easier, right? You're going to navigate it with a great deal more of ease. And ultimately, there's one big thing that we all want. And there's only one relationship that offers this without any question and any doubt. We want unconditional love. I think all of us at some form strive our whole life to feel unconditional love. I know I am one. I'm not going to ask around, but you can feel it inside of you. We want unconditional love, and we want to be safe. We want to be safe in all that we do, in all the decisions we make, in all the mistakes we make. We still want to be safe. That is the ultimate underlying goal. Our unconditional love offers us safety, where there's nothing you can do, nothing you can say that can mar that, take it away. And let me tell you and offer you this. Begin with your relationship with God. Guided, guarded, and protected every step of the way. It is unconditional love. It will never, ever change. So begin that relationship with this principle that is responsive. And if you can see, if it's responsive, what is it responding to? It's going all the way back to me, myself, and I. It goes all the way back to that. So as we develop this relationship with ourselves, we develop this relationship with God, we can feel safe. This is what we desire. So my invitation to you this week is to feel safe. To look around you and go, where is it that this anxiety comes up inside of me, and why? What is working me? What is making me feel anxious? Why don't I feel safe in this decision that I'm making? Why? Look at it. If you need help, call me. I'm always available. But just look at that. So that invitation is to be vulnerable with yourself so that you can dive deeper into the opening that vulnerability opens to you for your heart to go deeper into your relationship with the divine. And the other invitation is to show your love for this creative intelligence. Do the things, do the little things. Pick up some trash on the side of the road. Smile at somebody, give somebody a hug. Take them for a ride. Pick up a grocery. Whatever it is, because what you're showing love to is God. The person that you're helping or doing is God. Nature that we're picking up the trash, it's all God. It is the one and the only. So I leave you with just remembering this from Dr. Ernest Holmes. There is no place where you, the individual I, leaves off, and God, the universal I am, begins. To you, there's only God and God in you, and the two are one. Seek then to cultivate this divine indwelling presence, for it will respond to you, and you will know that you are not alone. You are not alone. May all the power in the universe be with you, and even as the divine light casts its radiance before you, the infinite love guides you on your way. And so it is. Let's take this to prayer. I've got goosebumps. It's all of you. This vibration, this like getting together and letting our selves polish each other. I just love it. Let's take a deep breath in. So we breathe it in. We allow ourselves to hear the world around us, to feel the rustle of the wind in the leaves, to recognize and know that this is God. we can reach out, right, and touch the person next to you and know that they are God. You can just go within and know that you are God in action right here, right now. And I know for each one of us as we walk our path this week that this is the truth of who we are. I know and understand that this feeling, this emotion is going to bubble up in all of us. It's going to come forward and recognize and reveal to us the things that are working us. And as we lean in deeper to this, or as we're willing to be vulnerable, we can feel this love that is the basis of all creation supporting us. So I know that this is the truth for each and every person here today. And I call it so. And please anchor this together with me as we say, and so it is. Thank you.